Welcome back to Hobby of Hours. This is Big Wrist Energy. I'm taking over for D on this next topic.
That's what's up.
So we were discussing most iconic watches of all time. Typically it's a top 10. That's a little tough for me. I actually have a top 20, top 15. And I'm not going to really get into it because there's a lot of, it's very subjective.
Yeah, when you get that large.
When you get that large. Yeah. For me, Slam Dunk is a top 9. Federico, who I respect, he and I agree on everything except for number 10.
Oh, okay. Lay it down.
And so, and I'll get that to in a second. I'm going to try to go through this by date of manufacture, date of introduction. So,
by all means, sir, the floor is yours.
Number 1, Cartier Santos. Okay.
Yeah.
To me, one of the most iconic watches of all time. First men's wristwatch. There were wristwatches, but first men's. First pilot's watch, arguably the first sports watch. Still in production today. So slam dunk on the Cartier Santos. Okay,
I'll give you that.
Number 2, okay, 1918 Cartier Tank. Tank is an icon.
Yeah.
Always was, always will be.
Yep.
So Cartier makes the top 2 spots.
Interesting.
Number 3, Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso. Okay, 1931. All right.
31.
I own a Reverso.
Yep.
I love Art Deco. Arts and crafts movement. I think it's absolutely an icon of the 20th century. Number 4, cannot include.
Let me see if I can guess.
This watch.
1931.
This is 1932. That's your only hint.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't have it. Breguet?
Nope. Calatrava.
Calatrava.
Technically Calatrava. Okay. So absolutely an icon of the watch world. Okay?
You know what's sad about the Calatrava? They're still using that old movement from decades ago. Have they upgraded that movement yet?
I don't know. I'm not a big... I like the Calatrava. I think it's great. A lot of iterations. It's a beautiful dress watch. It wasn't what I picked when I wanted a dress watch. I wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
Though the watch I picked was very similar. I have a Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda 1950, which is in a lot of ways very, very similar.
That's your
albeit a micro rotor, which I love.
That's your cheese watch, yeah?
Yeah, cheese watch. Okay, so number
5?
Number 5, okay, 1945.
1945.
Rolex Datejust.
The Datejust.
The Datejust is absolutely an icon, okay?
Easily.
So you can say Rolex Oyster Case, Oyster Perpetual, Datejust. I think it's just the Datejust.
Just the Datejust.
You can say the Oyster Case Rolex include the Oyster Perpetual. You can also include the Day-Date. Okay?
Yeah.
But the Datejust is the icon, 1945. I'm just going to stick with that. Okay? 1950s. Okay?
All right.
I'm going to start with the Rolex Submariner, 1953-54. Okay?
Easy.
One of the most iconic watches of all time. Okay?
Was that the one Bond wore?
Yeah. And, there's all this stuff about Blancpain 50 Fathoms, and if you look at some of the recent research done, maybe Blancpain wasn't the first diver's watch, and maybe the Submariner was, and we'll let other people argue that point. But there's no, as an industrial designer, there is no more classic watch, with one exception, than the Submariner, because it's one of the most copied watches of all time.
Absolutely.
It is an absolute icon.
It's I would have to say it's definitely the most copied, but what about the Omega Marine watch that predates them? Why does that watch never come up in the conversation?
I don't know. I don't think it's that iconic. It's a great watch.
No, I just mean as first dive watch.
I don't know. That's a good question.
No.
Okay, next watch. Okay,
yes.
Equally as iconic is Omega Speedmaster.
Speedmaster.
Okay. So you can say the Moonwatch, which was later, but if you're looking at late 50s, 57. Watch. Actually, I skipped ahead a little bit. Okay. So that is 57. And if you go to the Moonwatch, it's more in the 60s. But that whole Omega Speedmaster. Okay, so number 5, number 6, where are we at?
Somewhere in the 6 or 7. You're after
Breitling
Navitimer?
Navitimer. Okay?
Yeah.
One of my favorite watches as a young pilot. Never did get one. I'm kind of over it. But AOPA version. Some say 52, some say 54. Okay, a little bit of debate on that, but absolutely an icon. Chronometer.
Busy.
Almost as busy, but almost as iconic as the moon watch. Got to have the Breitling Navitimer in there. Okay?
I have the Zinn version. Back when Breitling was having trouble, they licensed Zinn to make, to be allowed to make it. So it's ground up, the exact same blueprint. They just can't call it a Navitimer.
Absolutely.
And so Zinn is making those. Even
and in fact, Zinn just reissued it, and no longer do they have the fourth crown on it to move the bezel. It's more like the real Navitimer.
Oh, really?
Yes. And if I was going to get one, I'd probably get one of those, but I don't need another chronograph.
No, you're good. Well, he needs a flyback, but we'll get to that later. All right, so after Navi.
After Navitimer, arguably Royal Oak.
The Oak.
Yeah, saved the Swiss watch industry. It is the icon, Giorgietta.
Changed everything.
Yeah, it really did. It really changed everything.
Hey, we can charge more for steel watches now.
Now, are we up to 8 or 9?
I lost track.
Let's pause the video here for a second. Okay. So we got, so we have 2 Cartiers, JLC, Calatrava, 2 Rolexes, that's 7, Navitimer, and Royal Oak, that's 9. Okay? And that's where I stop. Federico wants to include the Tag Heuer Monaco. I guess I have problems with that only because I do not like the watch. And it was a product placement on Steve McQueen's wrist.
Yeah. I love the watch, but I also agree it doesn't belong in this list.
Yeah, it definitely makes the top 20 easily, but I don't think it makes the top 10. Now,
definitely not top 10. Although, you know what? Casio G-Shock DW5600. There's your 10th one.
Or, to me, my personal, Universal Jeanette Polarounder, only because I'm a pilot watch guy.
That's also a great watch, but I don't think it's...
as iconic.
And it's iconic,
yeah,
but not at the same level as this stuff that you've already covered.
True. So like I said, this is a tough one.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm going to go, 10 through 20, we can include those.
Where's the Seamaster?
Seamaster is so many different watches. Seamasters were dress watches. They were dive watches. It's not a one watch. It's like people say the Zenith El Primero. The El Primero is a movement, not a watch. Okay?
That's an interesting point because I love Seamasters, but you're right. There are so many. From the Ploprof, to the dress, Aquaterra, World Timer, Chronograph.
There's way too many Seamasters to include it as an icon because it's more of a. That's why I picked the Datejust versus just the Rolex Oyster.
Oyster case. You know what? I would have normally anticipated to be offended by that, but no, you've justified that rather well.
Yeah. Now, is there a Seiko that makes the top 10? Can you say the SKX iconic?
Absolutely, SKX.
But is it?
Not top 10, but top 20.
It's no longer in production. They got rid of it for the Seiko 5. I'm bummed about that. I think they should have kept that. I considered that one of their icons. Or is it a turtle? I don't know. There's too much. In
the YouTube era, particularly, I learned about it from TGV. I didn't get on the SKX. I never owned one. I ended up going with the Seiko Spork.
Yeah.
Which so that's my Seiko diver.
Yeah.
Until recently, both your son and I went in on the 62 Mas reissue.
Yeah.
Which is a cool watch. I've not worn it terribly much as of yet. I got this weird thing when I don't bond with new watches the same way I do with used. And I have no idea why, sir.
Yeah, that's personal preference.
Yeah.
So there's really I put the Seiko SKX in the top 20. Doesn't make the top 10.
But as a manufacturer, they should be in there. But I can't think of one that is on par at the same level, other than an SKX.
Does the Hoyer, chronograph make it in the top 10?
Nope.
Sorry.
All right. If you out there in watchdom know of a fine watch to include in number 10, by all means, drop us a comment.
Now I have a top 12 pilot's watches of all time. Okay.
Very different, but yes.
But very different.
Yeah.
Some as iconic. I mean, obviously, the Cartier Santos is on there as number one. Okay. I'm trying to think of another watch in that. The Breitling Navitiner is on there. So 2.
Tesla drivers.
Yeah. So in my top 12 pilot's watch, 2 of them make the top 10 regular watch.
Yeah.
Well, actually 3, cool. Because I do have the Navitimer, the Omega Speedmaster.
Yeah.
So it's 3. Yeah, Cartier Santos, Speedmaster. Yeah. Now, Rolex GMT. That makes the top 20. Does it make the top 10? Even though I love it, I own it.
Yeah. Certainly top 20.
Yeah, definitely top 20.
All right, we're going to call it there, Curt. Thank you for rolling around Long Beach with me and for espousing your wisdom around that top 10, top 9.
Top 9, to me, it's for me, it's a no-brainer. There are people who disagree with me. I do check other people's top 10 lists. Yeah. And, they're going to put Patek Philippe Perpetual Calendar.
Interesting.
On there. They're going to put at least 1 or 2. The Daytona makes a lot of those lists. Okay?
Oh, really?
I don't consider the Daytona in there at all. It's been popular recently.
Yeah.
But, let's take a look at the Daytona, Paul Newman didn't buy it. It was given to him by his wife, who probably got it for free for buying some jewelry, okay?
Back in the day, it
was personally engraved, and he loved it so much with the personal engraving, he gave it to his daughter's boyfriend.
Not husband.
Boyfriend gave it away. The watch that if, as the story goes, it would drop on the floor, and the watch clerk would tow it under the cabinet. Under the cabinet, electing to pick it up at the end of the day because he couldn't be bothered to pick it up at the time. So to me, it took a while to become iconic. Is it iconic? Does it make the top 20? Yeah, today it
top
does.
20. Yeah, not top.
But 10. Not top 10. Oh, what is your number 10?
My number 10. Yeah. I have to go do some research.
Yes, absolutely.
I got to do some research, and then I will come back.
Because to me, icons should be obvious.
Yes.
To me, my top 9 are pretty obvious and make most people's lists.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I gave mine. Casio 5600.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mine. That's my number 10. I want to hear your number 10 in the comments. And who knows, if we get some interesting submissions, we might do a follow-up episode to this episode.
Some say the Swatch watch.
That's a brand and a launch, and that's cool, but that's not.
I know, I agree.
It has to be a singular thing. That's for the look. If my Seamaster isn't getting in the top 10, the Swatch watch isn't either.
I agree.
All right, we will catch you in the next one. Be well, be blessed, and enjoy your watches. Peace. If you'd like to support the channel, head over to hobbyofhours.com. We've got artwork, coffee mugs, hats, t-shirts, and even a watch book. 1001 Watch Designs, Volume 1. Over 1,000 designs in here. Steampunk, super futuristic, kaleidoscope, even super real ones. Watches that you can probably put on your wrist today. It's a great way to support the channel. Thanks for coming along on the ride.